have any recommendations for weight loss using herbs alongside healthy eating and exercising 3 to 5 times a week? So, yes, healthy eating and exercising would be important for, um, you know, losing weight. So, specific question was, what herbs could you use? Well, that does kind of depend on why are you overweight? Is there reasons for it? Like if you're overweight because of lack of nutrition or because you're not eating enough, then that would actually need to be addressed. And no amount of herbs are going to help, albeit if you do nutritional infusions, they're super healthy and have lots of nutrients. So it's certainly going to help in that case of not eating enough, but I still don't think it's enough. So obviously, if you need exercise, you got to exercise. Other reasons for, holding on to weight could be yo-yo dieting that has messed up your metabolism, which there you would want to make sure that you're doing mitochondrial support. That would be helpful in that aspect. Sometimes you need to make sure that you don't have sleep apnea, or is lack of sleep the issue, in which case then the herbs that are going to help you there are going to be herbs that help you sleep. Do you have excess weight because of stress or high cortisol? Then you're going to need herbs that are going to deal with that pathway. Are you on medications causing you to gain weight or to keep it on? Do you have digestive problems like SIBO? If you're just doing herbs to try and lose weight but not addressing the SIBO, then you're not going to get anywhere. If you have any undiagnosed medical conditions like hypothyroidism, unless your herbs are working on the thyroid and that pathway, then likely they're not going to help. If you're depressed, then herbs that are going to help with depression are going to be helpful. Are you in menopause right now? Women who are in menopause tend to gain weight, particularly around the middle, because that's where you'll then store your type of estrogen where you change into for menopause. Diabetes, if you have diabetes that's unchecked and you're not dealing with that, then it's going to be hard to lose weight. If you have PCOS, which is insulin resistance for 90% of the population, then you would have to deal with that. Congestive heart failure, that's a whole nother issue. Edema, you're holding on to liquids for various reasons. There's like a million different reasons why you could be holding on to fluids. Cushing's, most people would know they have Cushing's if they had it from, taking too much prednisone for too long. If you have kidney problems or liver problems or cancer or any other kind of hormone conditions. So all of those would need to be addressed in order to lose weight. But if none of that's going on and you just want to use some herbs to maybe help kickstart your regime of losing weight, berberine is often one that is used because it also helps balance blood sugars. So that can be helpful in that aspect. Coconut is actually super helpful. You could just take a spoonful of coconut when you want to eat instead of eating, and it can help lower that need for food. Probiotics have been shown to promote health, weight loss, maybe because they're helping to address digestive or dysbiosis, some kind of digestive disorders, that's way they could be helpful. Diet, best type of diet is low carb diet. Typically, I always say if you really want to work on that, try and keep your carbs under 35 grams per meal. And that generally works for a lot of people. It's not excessive, it's doable, and it's maintainable. Whereas if you're doing a straight up keto diet, that's just not doable. Coconut, back to that, it's somewhat of an appetite suppressant. And the whole big thing out there now is the GLP-1s, which are appetite suppressants. Albeit I think they do a little bit more than just suppress appetite. I think they're super helpful for other reasons, like particularly with people with inflammatory issues. Vinegar first thing in the morning or just prior to meals is supposed to help reduce appetite and, of course, encourage efficient digestion. Green tea extract, I always forget the acronym for it, but that's been long used for supporting weight loss. Bee and flower pollen can help to suppress appetite and cravings. I've heard of people putting it on their salads or sprinkling it onto their food. I might have even bought some and then stuck it in a cabinet and forgot about it. Maybe that's why I had some bee pollen that I never used. So spirulina might suppress appetite. Bitters can help regulate your appetite. Take your bitters before your meals. Ashwagandha can help balance cortisol if that's one of your issues. So that may aid in weight loss there. It can be helpful for a lot of people with hypothyroidism too. So that can help in that aspect. Chickweed is interesting. So it's supposed to help reduce fat and aid in weight loss because of the saponins in it. So anytime that you are consuming a saponin-rich plant, it's kind of like soapy and it can help emulsify fat, is its theory. But Matthew Wood says it can help with weight loss because of its effect on the metabolism and endocrine function. I don't know any more than that, but basically it can drive off excess dampness and fats and long-term deposits of fats. Elderflower is supposed to aid in kidney function by relieving fluid retention and cleansing toxins. So that might be helpful. It can also stimulate the circulation, causing sweating, which is helpful for releasing toxins. Anytime you're releasing toxins, everything's working better, right? If there's blood sugar issues, then ginseng and holy basil can be super helpful. Holy basil just makes a great tea. Hops in some studies shows that it could help with weight loss. Nettle is good if you have edema and it can help the metabolism in like a general sense. Rhodiola there's lots of studies out there about rhodiola maybe improving exercise, especially if you're consuming it alongside of an exercise routine. It's said that triphala alongside the use of guggle could be, or Google, however you want to say it, could be helpful in weight loss. So I made a tea. I used to be part of a weight loss group way back when I was trying to lose weight. And I gave it to a bunch of people to see what they thought. Everybody loved the flavor of it, but nobody was consistent in utilizing it. So not a good study, I guess you could say. I myself was not very consistent in using it either. So what can I say about anybody else not being consistent? But at any rate, so the recipe that I used was 1 part chickweed, half part elderflower, 1 part holy basil. I don't know the part for cinnamon chips because part of it got deleted, but it was probably an 1/8 a part. And that's just like a warming stimulant and it tastes good. Stevia was used as an 1/8 part, red clover as a 4th part, nettle as a half part, and gymnema was used as 1 part. So gymnema, I'm going to spell that for you guys. It's Gymnema, and then it's Sylvestre or Silvestri, however you say that Latin name. That actually is supposed to basically get on your tongue and then make you not want sweets. It's supposed to make sweets not taste good. I tried gymnema in tincture form, in tea form, which does not taste good in tea form. And I've tried it multiple times, lots of different times, and then tried and followed it up like at various times with eating some sweets afterwards to see if the sweets tasted worse like it's supposed to, and it didn't work for me. But admittedly, I do have a pretty strong sweet tooth, so I do like my sweets. So maybe that's it. I don't know. I just never found Gem Nema to be helpful. I have heard of other people where it has worked, and they say that it does make sweets taste bad, then they don't want it, which is like the whole premise. But it has some blood sugar lowering aspects to it and other benefits. If I were to make this tea again, I would not add the stevia to it, which stevia in of itself, and it was just the stevia leaves, not like the actual sugar that you buy in the stores. It was stevia loose leaf. I wouldn't add that in again because I find stevia in any tea blend to just make it sickly sweet. I don't like it. So I stopped buying it and stopped using it. So I probably would never put that back in there again. But anyway, that was a tea that I had put together. I also made a tincture once. We had 25% chickweed in it, elderflower 20%, holy basil 25%, and rhodiola or ashwagandha, which one I used, I don't know. I would have to try the tincture to see if I can taste the rhodiola in it, because I would be able to taste it if it was in there. Then ginseng 5% and cinnamon 5%. So basically, to train your brain, you're going to smell whatever your favorite is. Typically, people use citrus scents. So then you smell it when you are full. So then that way your brain starts to associate that smell with fullness. So then when you are hungry, you can take a sniff and see if it pauses your desire for food. Yeah. So along that vein, I have used for people who are like wanting to fast and get a little bit longer than maybe they wouldn't have normally. I've used mineral waters to kind of help them go along. So that can help. And recently, an herbal friend of mine, Terry, noted that she uses an amino acids in a powder form, and she'll just add that to her drink, and that allows her to get a little bit longer of a fast, because sometimes when you're fasting, your brain's like, food, and then you might have symptoms like lightheadedness or whatever. But she says that the amino acids really help her get a little bit further with her fasting and not want to eat as much. So that I just learned about that. So that trick I've actually started today to see if it works. And yeah, I feel like physically it made my brain not so lightheaded like it will get sometimes, because I consume coffee instead of eating. And so sometimes, like, especially the older you get, when you're consuming coffee on an empty stomach for really long periods, then it can make you a little bit like lightheaded or woozy feeling sometimes, or it could even raise your blood pressure. So yeah, that was the other thing. So I was going to try that because sometimes when I fast, it will raise my blood pressure. So I'm going to try the aminos to see if it'll keep my blood pressure from raising. Okay.
Thanks for joining us on this learning journey. Just a friendly heads up. Our teachers at Herba Remedium are here to empower you with knowledge about herbs, healthy habits, good food, movement, rest, and mindset shifts, all in support of your general well-being. We're not doctors and definitely don't diagnose, prescribe, or treat diseases. Our information or evaluations are all about helping you understand your body's unique constitution so you can support it naturally by bringing it back into balance, not medical treatment. We'll never tell you to ditch your doctor or meds, so please don't. And any health decisions you make are yours and yours alone. Our role, educators and encouragers. Everything shared here comes from a place of love of herbs and healthy habits and of learning all these things, and the belief that true healing happens when we support the body in doing what God made it to do. Thanks again.